If there was a champion that can virtually fit into almost any team, I think it would be her. For today's video, we are going to be talking about the Queen of Hearts. Hey you guys, it's Cece. Welcome back to my channel. The Queen of Hearts was a champion that I actually got from placing #1 in a tournament. I was able to actually get up there and I got this champion, which I was so happy because I actually attempted to pull her on my account. And unfortunately, I did not get her. So I was super ecstatic to actually grab her on an account and also to get a 3-star perfect soul on her. So looking at the Queen of Hearts and her skills, she does have an aura which increases ally accuracy in battles by 70. Her skill attacks all enemies and has a 60% decreased defense debuff for 2 turns and fills the turn meter of all allies by 5%. Second skill removes all buffs from all targets, places a death brand buff on the initial target, and then a true fear debuff on all enemies. Also fills this champion's turn meter by 5% for each buff removed by this skill. Third skill teams up with all allies to attack a single enemy. Before attacking, places a 50% increased attack buff on all allies for 2 turns. It decreases the cooldown of this champion, skill 2, by 2 turns if the target is actually killed. And then she does have this passive where for every 10 buffs that the enemy team receives, it grants this champ an extra turn. So she is a champion that you can see just by looking at her skills why she actually is so good. The blessing that I have placed on her is the cruelty one. I feel like for her, it is one of the ones that works pretty well. It decreases their defense, so being a very nice one. And then in terms of her actual gear, I have relentless on her and I kind of have a mix. I have feral, so I'm able to get a 2 bonus with some accuracy and some speed. And then I kind of just have a random accuracy placeholder because I don't have anything else that HP for that slot right now that actually works for her. So that's kind of staying on her, but it's really the relentless. Any chance to essentially allow her to go again and get some more extra turns. Since getting her, she has actually fit very nicely into my team. So a few places that I actually use her, one of them is in Arena. So for Arena, she has quickly become a staple, I would say, in my team. And I've swapped out other champs here or there. But for the most part, the fact that she attacks with other allies in there is something I find really useful. Her AoE's in there, and then of course the debuffs that she actually places. Having her on the Relentless as well when she does get that extra turn is really nice. So if you're able to kind of just see what she does with her output, teaming up with other allies, she fits super nicely into here. So she does allow me to really fly through. I mean, Arena recently reset, so obviously some of these are very easy teams. Like, I don't even know if she's just gonna be a 1-hit for this one. I mean, that would have been, I think, expected from anyone. But she, as I said, since getting her, put her into my Arena team, and I have yet to actually take her out of here. So she is one of the champions that I am using a lot in my PvP. I haven't gotten to play around with her in live Arena too much yet. She actually, the few times I tried to bring her in, I either just was completely outclassed and lost the battle and didn't really get advantage of her. And there was a few times where they actually banned her out. So hopefully I'll be able to use her a little bit more in live Arena and actually show you guys that. In terms of my dungeons, I've been using her in a ton of my teams, essentially virtually anywhere. One of the places I do really like to use her is Spider's Den. I immediately threw her in here, especially with her having the attacking all targets in there. Anytime I see that, I always think of Spider's Den, and I do like the fact that she does pair along with other champs as well, and the fact that when she kills an enemy, it works towards her skills. So all of this included, she has been a phenomenal champion in Spiders, but that's not the only place that I'm using her in my dungeons. I have also brought her down into my Dragonslayer, and she is one of the reasons I was actually able to get down into stage 25. Although I tried a few other champs here and there, I found her to be the most beneficial for the team, I guess I would say. She just works really well with everybody else in there, and I have yet to find a reason to actually need to swap her out just because she has fit really nicely into that role. And especially with her boosting of the turn meter for everyone else, allowing all my allies to go even more frequently. So she has definitely been one of those kind of core champions that I have needed to be able to crawl down further into here. I would say 2 of my dungeons that I've really neglected the most has been Phantom Shogun and Sand Devil, and part of that is just I didn't really have the champs for it. For myself, they were the toughest ones. Now, since getting her, I've definitely been able to climb down into here a little bit more, which is great because now they actually are including these dungeons into some of the tournaments happening. And really up until recently, I wasn't actually able to do this. So I'm definitely still climbing down into here. I've actually only recently been climbing down into the Phantom Shogun, and now I'm also working on Sand Devil. So I recently did get Godseeker Aniri, and people have said like use her with Ninja. They're both really good there. I don't have Ninja, so I am still figuring out the team that I want to use, but I've actually been using my Queen of Hearts in both of these teams. And as I said, just really utilizing her skills to being able to bring along other allies with her, the chance to get that extra turn, being able to utilize her skill 1 as much as I can, for all those reasons, she has actually been super helpful. I've also been making use of her in Doom Tower, and I find that she's actually able to help me clear these waves so quick, so it does make the auto climb even faster for myself. So I am using her along with some other champs like Thor. I find they pair really well together, and a few other champions that are strong damage dealers, because when she does bring them in to actually attack, it's great. But the fact that she has the defense break on her skill 1 has also been very helpful, because when you are going through and clearing any of these waves, having the defense break and then following that up with someone like Thor, who does a ton of damage, has been like, you can see how quick they're kind of melting things. Part of why she also works well in the dungeons, but I have found that she has really just made my climb into Doom Tower really that much faster. And of course, she naturally fits into something like her city or in faction wars when it is her actual faction. However, one of the places that I think I want to make more use of her is in clan bosses. So I am currently using her in my Hydra team, but I need to kind of figure out what I want to do with Hydra and how I can potentially actually use her and where she will really fit into here well, what champs she'll go well with. So that's something that I'm still kind of figuring out on making like dedicated Hydra teams, as well as Chimera. She would do well in here as well, I think. And again, it's really just figuring out what teams I actually want to use and how I want to utilize these champions together. So I think between any of these clan bosses, it's somewhere that she would be helpful. And I think it's somewhere that, especially for Hydra, she's going to be able to kind of take me to that next level, allow me to do more damage, so I could really take advantage of trying to get some of these other rewards in here as I am slowly working my way down. I mean, the goal is always to be like brutal. I mean, nightmare at the end of it, but even being able to hit something like brutal, for now, that is quite a ways away for me. But I do think she is allowing me to kind of get a step closer there as my gear gets better and as I figure out which champs kind of work really well together. Overall, she has been a tremendous support for me, and I am still working on her masteries, but going towards the defense and the support build, which I think just makes sense for this type of champion. And as I said, in terms of where you can actually use her, I do find some of her skills to be more useful in certain areas of the game versus others, like her skill 2, they're removing all buffs from all enemies. This is a skill that works very well in PvP, and I think that's really where I've been able to take advantage of this the most. I mean, also works well with other kind of like waves and things where they do buffs, things like that. But in terms of actually going up against bosses, I do think the first skill, having the defense break, very helpful there. Also great to actually clear the waves, having an AoE defense break. And her teaming up with allies, this one I do find incredibly helpful when it goes against bosses, just being able to go ahead and take some of your strong attackers and all going in onto that champion. And then, as I said, having the relentless, allowing her to try to go again. And in terms of her actually being able to use her skill 1, increasing the turn meter, filling the champion's turn meter again if she's actually removing the buffs on there, and the fact that she decreases her own cooldown of one of her skills, all of this together just working very nicely for what you really want out of a support champion. If you download Raid Shadow Legends using my link, I'm actually going to start you off with the free legendary champion on day 1, and then at level 10, level 20, and level 30, you'll get yourself an epic. That is 4 amazing champions that you can get just by downloading using my link. Queen of Hearts as a support champ has definitely leveled up my own game, so I want to know, did you guys grab her? Did you get her? And where is somewhere that you like to use her? Comment down below. Be sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on future champion highlights. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!